Yes, guys, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy, back with another video. We are up for a big update, and this is from Germany. In the last 48 hours, I spoke about a name called EDMOND TAPSOBA, and the reason there was Arsenal had open talks, and we were waiting to see. Now, according to reports from Germany, it is reported that Arsenal could be very close to agreeing a deal between them and Leverkusen for the 22-year-old centre back. That is where we are going to center on this video, and then in the next video I'll talk about Willian, who is 100% set to leave Arsenal according to Fabrizio Romano. Like I said, there is a lot of news. All you've got to do is to keep yourselves locked in. Subscribe to the channel, please. Hit the notification bell so that you don't miss anything in terms of transfers. Please do hit the notification bell. It will help you. It will also help me as well. Let's get into it. But before we do, the video is brought to you by OneXpert. Link is in the description. Of course, all you've got to do is visit their website by clicking that link. Use the promo code Cossy Media. You'll be able to get all the bonuses they offer. They have so many gifts for you: smartphones, smart TVs, and of course they have monthly, weekly, and annual draws for you to win prizes on on that scale. So you want to bet with a company that wants you to at least get something. So bet with OneXpert. Like I said, the first deposit you to get, you put in, you'll get up to 130 million, no, not million, $130 in bonuses. So that is it. Anyway, let us get into the video. EDMOND TAPSOBA, Arsenal very close to agreeing a deal between them and Leverkusen. I think the difference was Leverkusen wanted Arsenal to pay the 44 million pounds, in the release clause of the player. Now, obviously, Arsenal never wanted to pay that. They wanted to take the player for a card price. Now, reports from Germany are saying Leverkusen could actually go down. They could reduce the price of the player from the reported 44 million in the release clause, which I think is a little bit ridiculous. I don't think Arsenal were ever going to pay 44 million for EDMOND TAPSOBA. And the price could be at around 27 to 28 million pounds. So still wait and see what is going to come out of there. But just to talk about the player, in a little bit of a detail, I've said it before that if there is anything Arsenal should go for in a centre back, we should be going for experience. We should be going for pedigree. And it looks like we're not going for that anyway. We are going for a young, athletic centre back. In EDMOND TAPSOBA. They signed him from Victoria Guimaraes 2 years ago. He was 20 years of age when I think we played Guimaraes. Was it in the Emirates Cup 2 years ago? And he was, he came with Guimaraes at the Emirates Stadium, and he was really classic. You couldn't get past him. Leverkusen signed him eventually, and now he has a contract with them that still has around 2 years, but the 44 million pounds release clause is only to scare, in my opinion. I think Leverkusen will settle for something like 26 million pounds. Clubs in Germany, they rarely sell players expensively. I mean, if I look at how many players have come out of Germany expensively, you think about the likes of Kai Havertz, the likes of Pulisic, the likes of Pierre Aubameyang, but the rest of the other deals, they're going to be around 30 million, 25 million pounds. That is the price. So I don't know what you people think about EDMOND TAPSOBA signing for Arsenal, but I've been looking at his statistics today, on the Bundesliga website, and what intrigued me is his tackles and aerial duels. He has won 352 tackles in 31 appearances this season, and he has also won 87 aerial duels this season in 31 appearances. I think for me that is where I want to focus, because Rob Holding, if you're bringing me a player who's replacing Rob Holding, there must be a good reason. Obviously, Rob Holding has not been the best of players this season, but the question is, what is TAPSOBA good at? Now, it looks like Mikel Arteta wants someone who's so good in the air, better than Saliba, better than Rob Holding, and because TAPSOBA, according to reports, and we saw this, I think, from the Athletic. He is, he's been on top of Arsenal's list. On top of Arsenal's list to get a defender, although a centre back is our priority, but on top of the short list, TAPSOBA has been there. Now, a player who has won 87 duels, aerial duels, and 352 tackles. That is superb in 31 appearances. That is really, really superb. If you look at his age, he's the same age as Gabriel Magalhaes. Magalhaes is 22 years of age, probably in the summer. He's going to be making 23. And then this young lad, EDMOND TAPSOBA, is also 22 years of age. So he's a very young defender. But what I've loved about him, and why I would implore Arsenal maybe to do the deal, although he doesn't have the experience that I'm asking for, he doesn't have the pedigree I'm asking for in that position. Because for me, I want someone like Kalidou Koulibaly, honestly, because I think Koulibaly, Van Dijk, Thiago Silva and Harry Maguire, they have something in common. The likes of Soyuncu, you have that experienced centre back, in your defense. But if you have TAPSOBA and you have Gabriel, you have an average age of 22 years of age. I mean, there is so much for them to learn, and they're going to make mistakes until probably when they are 26, 27 years of age, and they have learned a lot. So one of the things that you've got to acknowledge is that he's a little bit older and more experienced than William Saliba, because William Saliba is 20. And I'm asking myself, could this be one of the reasons as why Mikel is deciding to keep William Saliba out of the starting lineup by deciding to go and sign up a new centre back? Could it be one of the reasons that he's looking at it and he's saying, I can't play a 22-year-old Gabriel Magalhaes with a 20-year-old William Saliba. So what he's trying to do maybe is get someone who's a little bit older than William Saliba. But again, if I think about it, if you want to use William Saliba, probably in the next 4 years, you don't sign a player like EDMOND TAPSOBA, because TAPSOBA is 22. In the next 4 years, it's gonna be 26 or 27. That only gives you credibility in terms of experience as a defender. That is your prime age as a player. That is when you can do most things for your club. That is when we shall need him most. So you can't tell me that in the next 4 years or 5 years, William Saliba is going to be the start at Arsenal, and TAPSOBA is going to be dropped, unless Arsenal is looking at a deal where you sign in TAPSOBA and sell him in the next 3 years, and that would be ridiculous, really. Why would we develop such a player and then sell him, yet we want to win trophies, yet we want to go back to the levels? So I think that's the big question around it. What does this signing really mean for William Saliba? I mean, we've been linked with the likes of Paul Torres, the likes of Jules Koundé, and a couple of other defenders, but what does it mean for Saliba? We've been screaming all season that Rob Holding is not good enough, and we need in a centre back. And all of us have had a consensus that centre back should be William Saliba. Honestly, at least all Arsenal fans have said that. Why isn't William Saliba playing? And we were a little bit more optimistic that having a good loan spell at Nice will actually guarantee him a start next season at Arsenal. But if you're signing in a new centre back who has very great numbers, by the way, 87 duels, area duels, and 352 tackles won, in 31 appearances, those are great numbers. Those are very, very, good numbers. And I think, playing for a club like Leverkusen has never stood in the way of a player who wants to go. So they'll let him go. Even if it's 21 or 22 million or 20 million, they will let him go, because for them, that's what they do. They will let you go and then replace you, eventually. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't understand what this, really means for Arsenal's future in terms of, the centre-back partnership. If Saliba is coming back, does that mean Rob Holding is going to leave? It will be ridiculous, because we have just added him a new contract. I mean, I think until 2024. Is it until 2024 years? Left on his contract now. So I don't see in any way Rob Holding leaving this club. I don't see in any way TAPSOBA signing and sitting on the bench to watch William Saliba, who's 20 years of age. So I don't know. Are we trying to create competition, in this area? Because if it is for purposes of competition, I'm in for it. I'm in for it. But if it's not for purposes of competition, then I do not understand what Arsenal is really doing. Because I thought Saliba was going to play, unless we are going to leave Saliba to go. And that reminds me of William Saliba's message at the end of the season. He said it was really, on his Instagram, and he said, end of the season, see you soon. I don't know whether he was really, messaging Nice fans or French football fans. But it looks like he might not play for Arsenal for me next season, because for me this is a deal that I look at in the pipeline. A deal like this in the pipeline, the moment it breaks, the moment Arsenal announce Edmond TAPSOBA, is very, very, very dark in terms of the future of William Saliba. Let me know in the comment section, people. What do you think? Are we doing the right thing? I cannot stand in the way of Arsenal signing a centre back this season, seeing how Rob Holding has been has been all season. I can't stand in the way of Arsenal. But the only question I have as an Arsenal fan, as a player who, as a fan who wants to see the Mbappe of centre backs, William Saliba, he deserves a chance. Honestly, he deserves a chance. We've seen the likes of Wesley Fofana. I mean, at Leicester City, Fofana has been great, and the reason Fofana has been great is because he's been given a chance at Leicester City. Brendan Rodgers has given him a chance, and we can see that he's great. If we don't use William Saliba, and at one point in time, we sell him back to either Nice or wherever club that is gonna go, and then he becomes one of the best centre backs, because this is a deal in a glass. Like, you can see Saliba is going to become great. He's going to become one of the best centre backs. And at the moment, I think we are lucky to have players like Gabriel, to have players like William Saliba. We are so lucky. Look at how clubs are looking for centre backs. Manchester United, they don't know whether Maguire is the right man, and they also don't know whether Victor Lindelof is the right man. So at one point in time, they'll think about getting a new centre-back partnership. The likes of Liverpool, they have signed in Konate, which I think is a very, very good deal, but they've struggled all season, courtesy of a poor backline. The likes of Chelsea, I don't think they're going to have Thiago Silva for all the time. Zuma, is he going to develop into an aggressive top-class centre-back? There's a very big question about that. What about the likes of Christensen and the others? So you can see, in the future, I think we shall reach a time when many clubs are interested in signing centre-backs. Now, if you have Rob Holding, and you have William Saliba, and you have Gabriel and Pablo Mari, at the moment, I think we need to take care of our talent, honestly. But you know what? I'm not against Edmond TAPSOBA, and if he comes, I'm settled, because I've been looking at some of his strengths. This is what is written by the scout report, and you can check out their channel, check out their website as well. So they're saying in terms of positioning, he is literally, because if you look at his heat map, literally in terms of his positioning, he's this kind of centre back that really doesn't go beyond the center line. That's first and foremost. And then they have said that the first system that will be explained is the one of Victoria, used against weaker sides. As already mentioned, Victoria play with a high defensive line, so you can play in that very high defensive line, which I think is a very big problem for players like Rob Holding, because he doesn't have the quality. Honestly, he doesn't have the quality. So, I mean, I will welcome Edmond TAPSOBA. There is no question about that. I will welcome him to Arsenal, but I didn't expect Arsenal to go for a centre back. But David Ornstein and the Athletic have already confirmed. They've said if there is anything Arsenal consider as a priority in this summer, it is a central midfielder and a centre back who plays on the right hand side of the defense. So that is it, people. We could be out here and we listening that Arsenal has signed Edmond TAPSOBA, but until then, I'll keep giving you whatever happens around the situation. Smash the like button if you like the content, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and click the link in the description. You'll win bonuses with 1xbet. Use promo code Cossy Media. I'll see you in a minute.